Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking my video to watch. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my two go-to looks that I basically always wear on a day-to-day basis. I've done quite a few everyday makeup looks, but I've never shown you guys two-in-one. But these two that I'm about to show you, I rotate all the time, and they are definitely my go-tos. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of variety in the video. So before we hop on into it, please don't forget to subscribe. Click that little bell beside the subscribe button. That way you guys get notified every time I upload a new video. Also be sure to like this video if you enjoy makeup tutorials, and if you'd like to know what my go-to looks are, this being one of them, then please just keep watching. Okay, I'm starting off with a bare face. I have my eyebrows on. I don't want to talk about them. They're an issue in itself. I never show how I do my eyebrows because I just don't want to talk about them. So anyways, I always wear a pair of hoops. More often than not, I'm a hoop kind of girl, so I have got my hoops in. I always also pull my hair back like this in a little bun. Normally when it's wet too, I like to shower and just chug it back. I usually always have my hair back, so I just pull it to the bottom of my head, put it in a little bun like that. And then the first step I do to prime my face is use my Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. This is the one that I use all the time. This is definitely my go-to primer at the moment. It brightens up your face, lifts it, but it also goes really well with a matte foundation. It doesn't really take away or dull out the radiant effect it gives, at least the foundations I use it with anyways. And it adds a lot of moisture to your skin. Also, all of my face products that I use can change on a daily basis. These are just the products I normally go towards. The next one being my Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I am the shade Light Beige. It's a tad too light for me, but I will make it work. And it is a matte foundation. It comes in a dropper, which is really nice and easy to use. And I will just buff it out with my Japanesque 709 buffing brush. If I want a more dewy look, I really like the Anastasia Stick Foundation. I like the L'Oreal Lumi foundation, but this one is my go-to because it lasts the longest on my skin and it just keeps it matte and looks more like a smooth canvas. My everyday concealer is also from Catrice. It is the Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. I use the shade Light Natural. It came out with a bunch of new shades, this being one of them. I used to use Porcelain, which is a bit lighter than this one, and then when I got this one I just found it to be a way better match. It's more on the neutral side, but it's still nice and light, so it really brightens up the center of my face. So these are all the spots I put it. I also put it on my eyelids so I can prime them for my eyeshadow. And then normally I like more of a full coverage finish, so I'll go back in with my buffing brush because it gives you the most full coverage, and I'll blend out all of my concealer using this brush. This is my favorite loose powder ever. It is the Pretty Vulgar Translucent Setting Powder, and to ensure my concealer doesn't crease or budge about, I like to bake with it. I always bake my eyelids too because my eyelids are actually oily, so my eyeshadow and concealer will smudge off if I don't bake them beforehand. And then I'll also pop a little bit on my chin and my forehead. While that's doing its thing, I like to contour, and what I've been using recently is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the original one, and I just grab it on my Real Techniques contour brush and I place it into the hollows of my cheeks so they have some definition. And then I also contour underneath my lip, and then just a little bit on my nose. I go right underneath the tip of my nose, loosely along the sides, and then a little bit right here. By the time I'm done that, I am ready to just wipe off all my powder, and I also press it into my skin as I wipe it off. My go-to bronzer is the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. It is just the perfect neutral bronzer on my skin, but it's deep enough that it gives me some color. I actually have two. I've got one in this little palette, and then I have one in my box that I've hit pan on. I've gone through quite a few of these ones actually. It is just the perfect bronzer, and I just pop it everywhere. Bronze up my skin. I know they came out with new shades, which I have yet to try, but I'm dying to. The majority on my cheeks, because I like my cheeks to stand out. And then I also run it underneath my jaw, down my neck, and then on my forehead. What I've been doing for my blush recently is actually taking the Hoola Light Bronzer by Benefit and using that as my brush and just creating a really bronzy look. I just pick it up and apply it as I would my blush, just on the apples, and drag it back. And I love the extra little dimension it gives because it flows so good with my bronzer. If I am wanting to do an actual blush, I just kind of switch it up depending on what I'm going to do for my lips or my eyes. Normally my go-to blush is Luster from NARS. It's just this kind of peachy apricot undertone. And it just adds a little bit of a sun-kissed look. I don't really switch up my highlighter a lot. I really love the Balm's Mary Luminizer. I use that so often, and then I also use Anastasia Perla Liquid Glow very often. Those are probably my top two other than this one. This one I've been wearing every single day. It's the Anastasia Loose Highlighter in the shade So Hollywood. It's super gold and it goes really good with my bronzy look that I've been doing lately. And I'll just pick that up on my Sigma tapered highlighter brush. And I just grab a little and build my way up. It just depends on the day and my mood of how much highlighter I want, but I usually do that much. It's not too much, but not too little either. And I just pop it on my temples, my cheekbones, tip of my nose, and then my Cupid's bow. So that's what I'll normally do for my face, no matter what look I'm doing for my eyes or my lips. This has been my go-to. And sometimes I'll switch up the bronzers, but they're pretty similar when I switch it up. Sometimes I'll switch up my foundation or concealer, but again, it kind of all has a similar outcome. So basically this is my go-to base. And then the palette I've been using recently is my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I haven't touched this in a while and it has all of the perfect bronzy neutral shades in it. So I don't understand why I haven't been using it more often, but now I have been. I will always take this shade called Chaser right here. It looks really light in the pan, but it gives a lot of color when you put it on your eyes. At least for me anyways, it will look different on all skin tones. But I just grab that shade and pop it right into my crease, kind of keeping it high towards my brow bone. My eye looks are always very simple for my everyday look. So typically it's just this shadow in my crease. And then also I will drag it underneath my lower lash line. I always put some on my lower lash line just in case my concealer creases up. It kind of blends it out and also kind of evens out the bottom lash with the lid. And typically for an everyday look, that's all I'll leave it at, and then I'll just put on my mascara. But if I want a little bit of an extra pop, then I will take this gold shade from my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette, and I'll just put it all over my lid. And I just apply it with my finger and drag it upwards. When I do that, I don't use a brush or anything, I just very loosely apply it. Then I'll just put on my mascara. My go-to mascara is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I've gone through like over 10 tubes of this. Oh, it's so good. It's my favorite mascara I've ever tried. And I will just coat the tops of my lashes and then put a bunch on my upper lash. I apply a lot and I kind of wiggle it to make sure my eyelashes are separating while I'm doing it. I try not to make it clumpy. Sometimes it ends up being clumpy, but not too bad. And then of course I have to put some on my lower lash line as well. I mean my lower lashes, not my lower lash line. Lips always change for me. I don't really have a specific go-to besides the one I'm going to show you in my next look. But I do love a good gloss. So this one is from Clinique. I really like these little Clinique lip glosses. They are the Clinique Pop lip glosses. They just give a little bit of color to your lips while making them glossy. So they're not overly pigmented, which I like. They're kind of a sheer. So this one is the Cherry Pop one, which is meant to be red, but it's not too intense. It just gives a tiny bit of color, which is nice when you're going for more of a neutral look, but then it also makes them nice and glossy. And these glosses are so nice because they're not sticky whatsoever. They just kind of glide on and they feel more like a chapstick or a lip mask rather than sticky lip gloss. And that is it for my go-to look number one. It's pretty simple. I do a lot of face makeup and then I keep it really basic on my eyes and my lips. Sometimes I'll do more of a dramatic lip just depending on my outfit for the day, what I'm doing, but this has definitely been all of my face steps recently. Okay, my second go-to look is hardly different. It's just a little bit extra to the eyes and the lips. So I just take a chubby little shader brush for this and I just kind of do a smoked out eyeshadow liner, and I have been liking to take this shade called Low Blow from the Urban Decay Heat palette. I just pick up a bunch of the shade on the shader brush and I just smoke out a little bit of a liner. I also won't do this step with the shiny eyeshadow. It's just already on my eyes, so I don't really want to take it off. I'll just do this with my matte look, but it also goes good with the shiny eyeshadow too. I just don't do it like that. I just kind of drag it across, flick out a little bit of a wing, and bring the rest of the shade along my upper lash line all the way into the inner corner here. Then I also take this shade and smoke it onto my lower lash line. just so it's all evened out. I connect it with the wing at the corner of my eye. And that's all I'll do for these eyes. When I do my go-to looks, I never put on false lashes unless I really want to, but I usually don't. So even though I do always switch up my lipsticks a lot, this is probably the one I go to the most, and I love it with this look. There's a fly in my room and it's huge, so it's super loud. It's really annoying. I don't want to kill it because then I'll feel bad. I have to just, you know, wait until it chills out. Okay, so this is the Anastasia matte lipstick in the shade Nude. Oh, I love it so much. And it literally goes perfect with this look. It goes perfect with a lot of looks, but this one especially. Like, this lipstick with this palette is just a match made in heaven. Okay, and then that is it for this look. This is the one I'll do when I just want a little bit of an extra pop and I want my eyes to be more lifted up with a wing, and then my lip to be just a little bit more deeper. Even though this is my usual hairstyle I do, I'm gonna do my hair really quickly to show you guys the other go-to hairstyle I do. It's always up. It's just a pony, but I'll just put my whole look together anyways, as I would normally, so you guys can see it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I just blow dried and straightened my hair, and sometimes I will leave it like this. I'll just kind of tuck it back a little bit behind my ears and kind of wear it like that, but I definitely don't leave my hair down on a regular basis. It's just sometimes. So the first hairstyle I was wearing is the one I do the absolute most, and then the second one I do basically the same thing. It's just a low ponytail. So I'll either do it straight or curly. Today I'm gonna do it straight. And yeah, I just gather all my hair like I did before, put it about there, and then I just pop it in a pony. And then typically with this look, I like my gold hoops. So these are one of my favorite pairs. They are gold, but they have this little charm on the bottom, and it's a lightning bolt. I have little snake ones and just little circle ones as well, but I really like these ones. And then that is my second go-to look that I do. That is it for the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave, like this video if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.